Alright, I found some old footage of when I had my inflatable dinghy. I didn't use it very much, so I ended up selling it. So I thought I'd make a video at the time of assembling it, blowing it up, constructing the floor, etc. And this one also came with a trailer that you can fully dismantle. So all of this, including the trailer and the outboard, fit in my ute. So here we are, just unpacking it from inside of its bag. Pretty compact. And it came with this pretty neat pump. So I did buy this boat second hand. And this was a pretty good pump, the guy said. I think it's a dual stage pump. So here we are inflating one of three portions of the inflatable boat. It gives you three separate chambers. That's the word, chambers. So this is the first chamber that we're filling up. So this is double or triple lined, this boat. Very sturdy and strong. But if one chamber does tend to give out, it won't sink. You have two other chambers plus the floor to keep you afloat. So here we're just partially inflating the all three chambers, maybe till about 80%, because we need to get the floor in. So if we pumped it up to 100%, you wouldn't be able to wiggle that floor into place. So what are we up to now? We've got the second chamber inflating. So these are a bayonet clip-in hose. Sometimes if you don't clip it in properly, it will pop out. There is a secondary lock-off valve inside there as well. So now we're pumping up the front chamber to about 70%. Alright, so I think next we just pop inside there and straighten the floor out. Just kick the chambers out a bit. I'm putting the bung in the back there. Something you always forget. Alright, so we'll just widen that out. And the next thing to go in is the aluminium floor. So now we've got the front. I think that's the bow. I'm not a massive boat person, but I think this is the front section of the boat, which is called the bow. And the stern is the rear, isn't it? So now we'll just make a space for that to sit under there. Sorry about the noisy footage. Not as in sound noisy, but the picture. It was a bit dark in the garage here. We were up at Port Lincoln. It's just a spare of the moment video. On my Insta360, that's how I'm getting all the angles, but it's not fantastic unless there's heaps of light. So here we go, this is number 2. This goes in next. So this one clips into the front section of the floor. It's a tongue and groove floor section. And now we have floor number 3. So we'll just sit this on top, because I'll show you after how you assemble the last piece. And then we've got the rear. That's the stern, isn't it? I have to look that up. Yes, because if it's a bow rider, that makes the wave at the front, right? So here we're putting in the rear section of the floor. That rubber mat there is where your fuel tank sits on. Just pop that buckle out the way. So now pop your tongue and groove in the rear section, and to get the floor assembled properly, we need to lift these two pieces up. Just like so, and then lock in your tongue and groove. And once you get these bits aligned, you just push the floor straight down and it stretches out and it locks together. So now we've got two side supports that go in each side. Nice thick aluminium rails that clip into the side, so we'll just make some room for those. So here's our heavy duty aluminium support rails, just one on each side. There's a flat section there that's a bit larger, that goes on the bottom. So the trick here is to curve it around and kind of roll it into place, and it clicks in nice and easy. Probably could have pushed that one back a little bit more. So we'll go and put the other side in. This one here, I line it up a bit better, just so it's evenly distributed over the two end pieces of flooring there. So yeah, that one's lined up a bit better. We'll get that strap out of the way as well. So roll it under, and that clips in and keeps the floor a bit more stable, so the tongue and grooves don't pop out. So it's a very stable floor, nice and lightweight but very strong, being aluminium. And now we can pump the chambers up as much as they will go with the electric pump. I would say we get about 90 to 95% inflation with the electric pump, and then we have to really tighten them up with the manual foot pump. So we'll lock that one in for now, and then we'll go around to the other two chambers, and then we'll actually pump the floor up as well. So here's our second chamber on the left side. What's the left side of a boat? I always get that mixed up. Is that port? And starboard's on the right. I always thought port, the alcohol wine drink, is red, so it's the right, but I think that's the opposite. So yeah, I think port's left. I always get that mixed up. So here we're pumping up the bow, I think it's called, or the front of the boat. Let a bit of air out there. We've got that secondary valve, but we'll have to pump this up by hand anyway. And now we've got our floor stabilizer that runs along the bottom of the boat, and that actually helps it cut through the waves as well. You can see how that's pumping up. That adds a lot of rigidity and strength to the base of the boat. It just gives it a nice shape to cut through the waves as well. So this one here, I don't think we have to pump that up by hand. That's fairly good enough just with the pump, electric pump. So now we're hooking up our manual foot pump just to make sure the chambers are done nice and tight. The electric pump is a very high flow pump, but it doesn't put out much pressure. So here we can force a bit of extra pressure into the chambers, get them nice and stiff. So that's our first chamber pumped up to the max. And you can also just use the foot pump as well. You don't need an electric pump. However, it does make the job much quicker. And you don't have to get a super expensive pump. This is just one that came with the boat. And there's the Parsun 9.8 horsepower outboard in the background there. I think I've got another video of showing you how to start that as well, that I posted ages ago when we were down here. And here's our third chamber at the front. Just stiffening that one up. This one actually pumped up pretty good with the electric inflator. Put our secondary cap on there as well. And now I do actually add a bit more air into the floor stabilizer as well. Not much, just a few foot pumps. There we go. So our main part of the dinghy is fully inflated. So there's the base. It's a nice shape, nice and stiff as well. So now I think we're on to assembling the seats. So these seat rails, they just slide on like so. There's a little groove in each side of the seat and they just slot on. If they don't go on, you can use a bit of silicone spray or something, but there's enough play in there for them to slide on. You probably don't want to use any lubricant because they might slip around when you're on the water. So there's our first seat, that slides on pretty easy. So this is almost in real time. There's just a few things sped up, like the bit of inflation time, but I don't think this took any more than about 30 minutes. And this is only my second time assembling the dinghy. So there's our second seat. Just make sure you push it on nice and evenly or it will get stuck. So we'll pop that around about in the center. Right, next we've got our oars. So unscrew the cap. These are a two-part oar system that clip together. That just slides over the thread. There's a bit of a heavy-duty clip there, and then screw your cap back on, or your nut, and that's it. Now we'll do our second one. So these just clip together. Push the button, they clip together. So they've thought about everything on this dinghy. Everything's nice and compact. It's actually a great little boat that doesn't take up much space. I think it holds 4 people, but it's a bit small for that. 2 people, I think, would be the maximum. Alright, so there's our oars done. And now we've got this little bimini brace here that fits on the front. That inflates as well. And then we can put our things called a bimini cover or a windbreak cover over the front of this. This pumps up really quick. It's not very big. I think this is a 2-part chamber as well. Just takes the stress off the components having separate chambers, and this just straps on with some Velcro. So just put your straps through the slot here and they Velcro on. Nice and secure. On each side, 2 at the front. That just provides you a bit of a windbreak on the front of the boat. Makes a huge difference. So if you ever do get one of these inflatable dinghies, try and get one that's got a bit of a windbreaker at the front. Same thing, this just straps on. These are elastic. You could probably do with some new elastic actually. The top's Velcroed on. This elastic's not the best. I did have a video on the trailer, but I've already assembled that. I reckon I might have deleted that video already. So there's our elastic. You can see it's a bit slack. That needs replacing for sure. But it does the job. So there's our front cover on, or bimini, or windbreak. That's about it. So make sure your bung goes in there, otherwise you'll sink your boat. That's where your fuel tank goes, right there. I'll pop a link in the description on the outboard motor and starting that. And let's go. Don't forget to connect your lanyard. So if you do fall out the boat, stop the engine. And just restart it. Neutral. Beauty! And as always, thanks for watching. If you liked what you see, hit the like button. Don't forget to leave a comment below. That would help my channel grow. And if you want to see more videos like this, subscribe to my channel. That would be fantastic.